Welcome to Indianapolis then for race number 7. Lars Leclerc on pole from returning B-Dragon Sonic and Tonali Gabo. Then it's the Red Devil, Ray Shen, Pablo Sierra, and Oscar Folstad. Arnett Babness Jr. starts 8th from car number 8, Ica World and Revo. Then it's Zach Wallace, Sebastian Ocampo, Remy Lebeau, and Xavier Kubica. Championship leader Daf Sanchez starts 15th from reigning World Drivers Champion New Cable. Then it's Daniel Baltasar of Catfish down in 18th. Then Pierre Gasly, Cosmas Medicis, Scotland Rucksack, and Vers Theo. Well then, first race here at the Brickyard. Leclerc on pole, B-Dragon Sonic second, all 5 lights go on. And we are underway in Indianapolis. Brilliant start from B-Dragon Sonic off the line, already up into the lead. Leclerc, of course, starting on the hard tires. Traction is going to be a big issue, and that's really the main place where you're going to see it off the start. Revo's had an amazing start, already up 6 positions, up 5 as Gabo gets back past, but it's B-Dragon Sonic in the lead from the Red Devil and Lars Leclerc, who are both squabbling over second. Tonali Gabo getting himself into this fight for the lead in this 18-lap shootout here at the Yard of Bricks. But Leclerc on the back of B-Dragon Sonic now. Those hard tires may be at 94 degrees Celsius, but they still aren't quite up to temperature yet as they come through this makeshift chicane. Further back, Ocampo getting a 5-second time penalty, hot off of winning in Bern last time out in that 76 car. That is not what the Andretti team would like to see. What Techeetah are currently seeing, however, is exactly what they want to see. They are seeing that 10-time World Drivers Champion shoot off into the distance. Lap 2 of 18, B-Dragon Sonic in the lead from Leclerc and the Red Devil. Attack mode is officially in operation. As you can see, Gabo lurched down the inside up into 4th. You're going to see a lot of pack racing today. Pack racing is essentially where you don't really get that field spread. It all just stays very compact, very close. B-Dragon Sonic's doing the fastest first section of anybody. The lap times around here expected to be around about under a minute in length, as here comes the Red Devil with attack mode up into second position, hopping over the curbs. As he does so, he's now free to chase after the race leader, and he sets the fastest second sector of anyone at 21.16, comes to the start-finish line. Most of this track, in fact no, this entire track is basically flat out, full throttle, as Leclerc there pulls to the inside, 58.916 set by Gabo, who's currently dueling it out for third position. There's a likelihood that we get a new closest finish, but it does require the pack closing in on B-Dragon Sonic and swallowing him whole. Getting a front row start was half the battle. Much better than how he did at the reconfigured Abuja circuit. In a 1/6 of the way through this race, it's as if he's come straight out of Season 1 again and ready to dominate, as he did all those, my goodness, 21 seasons ago. That's insane. Revo, however, who's been there since day 1, race 1 in his race, in every single race without exception, currently running in 5th. He started this race in 10th, as you can see. His first teammate, U-Cable, getting himself up the order, currently in 8th, and setting a new fastest lap of 58.6. However, fastest laps do not give you any extra points anymore. It does mean that in case you're in a championship battle, you do have to fight your way through the field and not bank on a fastest lap being the 1 point you need to win the championship. However, in the ERL, it's never come down to that. Gabo, who's currently in second position ahead of the Red Devil and Lars Leclerc. For Revo right now, his championship rivals in Catfish and Sanchez are 15th and 20th respectively. The Andretti driver, who's leading the championship, is having an awful day at the Yard of Bricks. Of course, a reconfigured Yard of Bricks for our ERL cars, but still quick enough as to where we have had to make some minor adjustments. We've had to remove the wheel covers just to reduce a little bit of drag. Gabo setting a fastest lap of 58.133. He's all over the back of B-Dragon Sonic. He's caught up to him. Doesn't seem like the pack is caught up. It's just the Italian in car number 29 behind the 13. You can see how close that red and black Sims Porsche is. That might be weighing on the 10-time World Drivers' Champion mind, but I don't think it's going to weigh in too much. Rather, getting a track limits warning. They do seem to be quite hard to come by, considering this is one of the widest tracks, and it not being a street circuit. Here comes Gabo, tries to go down the inside. He's keeping his nerve, and he keeps the position. Tonali Gabo, for the first time in 5 laps, changes the race lead by taking it away from the Nigerian, who is now behind him, or rather, alongside, only a 10th behind. He's gaining on him, going down the start-finish straight. No attack mode in activation. In fact, there's only one place where you can use attack mode, and that's on the back straight. So that is testament to how close the racing is here. B-Dragon Sonic taking the lead, coming through the opening turn with, oh my goodness, Gabo's got a puncture, and that's the Red Devil getting a 5-second time penalty for it. Oh no! Sierra getting a time penalty as well. He's acting as a stopgap. Revo's dropping down the order with his countryman. Gets past him now. But for Tonali Gabo, while he was driving with Virgin, he often said that he didn't have any luck. And it looks like it's his luck from those early days in his time in the ERL that has followed him to America. As B-Dragon Sonic has shuffled down to second for the second time in consecutive laps, his teammate is now outside of the top 10, and crucially only now just ahead. Well, he's not just ahead of Catfish, he is ahead, but about a second in it. Shouldn't be too much of a worry, just like this pass for the lead. Sends it down the inside, and Catfish is pitted. Does he have damage? No, he doesn't. This is just an early stop for the Sims Porsche driver as B-Dragon Sonic into the race lead. Does he have attack mode? That's the question on my lips. He does not. Volstad, on the other hand, does. Even with those soft tires blistered to all hell, he is able to get himself into the race lead. Volstad of Norway leads this E3, and Gabo now coming into the pits. He's only in pit lane right now. Both Sims drivers are at the very back of the pack. Pit stops around here take so much more time than you'd expect just because of the average speed that you pull around here. The average speed in kilometers per hour around this track is B-Dragon Sonic pits. The average speed, are you ready for this? 298 kilometers per hour. You are more likely to be racing this track around at about 300 than you are at 200. That's wild. This is the fastest track on the calendar. UK Ball comes in. Theo has also come in. These guys going on to the mediums. Catfish. Well, he's rounding the final turn right now. He's got momentum. And he might be able to close up to the guys in front of him. Probably might be is the better word to use, because now B-Dragon Sonic is up to pace. And Gabo's being lapped. Tonali Gabo. He was up running at the front of the pack not too long ago, but he's now a lap down and fighting with his own countryman, not even for position. That's kind of sad if you ask me. The Red Devil coming into the pits. Volstad stays out at half race distance. The medium tires might be able to make it to the end of this race. If they make it to the end of this race, then B-Dragon Sonic versus Theo, UK Ball, all of these drivers, they're going to be fine till the end of the race. Versus Theo, by the way, up into 19th position ahead of UK Ball. The two Sims drivers still at the back of the pack. That's where we expect at least one of them to be. Not this one, driving car number 2, but the other one into 29. At half race distance, it is Oscar Volstad, the Season 18 World Drivers Champion, who leads for McLaren Mercedes in that chrome and orange car. Chrome and papaya, as their media team likes to call it. Watching car number 4 still. Does he decide to come in? He peels into the pits now. And of course, this race, in terms of mileage, it's the longest on the calendar. In terms of actual race length. We're expecting this to be under 20 minutes long. We expect that to happen for sure. Sanchez, championship leader, also comes into the pits. He's going to be racing, we believe, Revo on pit exit. He's going to be behind in B-Dragon Sonic. But do you want to know who's ahead of B-Dragon Sonic? It's Falstad. Falstad has undercut the 10-time World Drivers' Champion. The man who's never driven in orange now finds himself in gold for the second time in his career. He's still driving part-time for now. And he's behind Falstad and Scotland Rottak. Rottak, a driver he's never raced against. Gasly and Mila both, but with clouds beginning to form over Indianapolis, in comes Leclerc. And are those going to be dry tyres going onto that car? Softs will be going onto Leclerc's car. Ray Shen stays out. Aiko stays out. Babinus Jr. comes in. Here comes Sierra trying to go past Sebastian Ocampo. But it's cloudy out there in Indianapolis. It is not a sunny day anymore compared to when this race started. And the ERL Master using attack charge coming through turn number 1. Alongside Falstad in only his second start in season 22. He should get attack mode. I believe both drivers will get attack mode, but I don't think it'll weigh on his mind too much. B-Dragon Sonic up to 7th position. For now, they're still alongside each other, heading into turn number 2, the actual turn number 2, where you actually have to make a conscious turn. And we've got yellows ahead, behind even. That is Babinus Jr. with a puncture. Second puncture of the day. Xavier Kubica with a 5-second time penalty. Both drivers with major front wing damage. What is causing these punctures? Because that's the second one in this race. First, it was Gabo. Now, it's Babinus Jr. And the yard of bricks, seemingly with the most abrasive surface that we'll see for a long, long time. The top 3, they're expected to make it to around lap 14 and then go into softs. So what they will lose in track position there, they will surely gain when it comes to the pace that they have. But Babinus Jr., we've got yellows. UK ball, 5-second time penalty. He's off with first Theo. Both drivers with major front wing damage. And once again, another puncture for the man who won the race in Valencia due to a timing error. He's got a puncture too. And UK ball with major damage. Further back, Sierra with a 5-second time penalty for causing a collision. B-Dragon Sonic's found his way up into 4th position after clearing Babinus Jr., who has major issues when it comes to the puncture. Many of the hard tire runners now taking this opportunity to come into the pits. Not Pierre Gasly. Gasly still yet to win his first ERL race, to my knowledge. He's coming into the pits as Babinus Jr., and we expect Versio to come in with him very soon. But for Gasly, he's yet to win his first DRL race. To currently be leading at the yard of bricks, that's got to be something worth of note at the very least. To lead in Indianapolis, this race, it's been chaotic. We've had 0 retirements, may I just remind you of that. But this race is going to go down in history as one of the greatest in ERL history. As here comes the 13, looking for a way to try and get past. Looks like 13 is not Gasly's lucky number. B-Dragon Sonic reclaims the race lead here in Indianapolis with that red cross on his helmet, referencing Blader X from Beyblade X, one of his personal sponsors. Versio only now makes his way into the pits with UK ball. We're going to have drivers who are at least a lap down. Gasly coming out right behind his own teammate, not getting any sort of slipstream. In fact, very much compromised by it. Falstad getting a time penalty for causing a collision with Leclerc. That is going to hamper his race quite a bit as he now laps Tenali Gabo. For Revo, he is currently outside of the points. Sanchez, however, is on the cusp of it. If he can just close in to Pablo Sierra and be within a second of him, which I believe he is within 5 seconds of him right now, that will be at least 1 point come race end for Revo and Catfish, who are currently trying to fight against Daf Sanchez in the championship. This is not what either of them would like to see or hear about, or anything of the sort. 18th down to 22nd. All drivers who are about a lap down, as there goes Falstad to P2 ahead of Pierre Gasly. Car number 3 currently in 3rd, and into the pits comes Gasly. The last of the hard tyre runners doing 14 laps out there. Brilliant work from the Frenchman, but not brilliant enough. 3 laps to go at the Yard of Bricks, and it's B-Dragon Sonic leading the way in this race number 7 of 22 in the ERL Formula E Series. We've had these dark clouds overhanging this part of Indiana for a long time. We haven't seen any rain fall. Rain falling on a track like this, that might be a little bit catastrophic. Leclerc trying to find a way past Falstad. He's found it. He goes up into 2nd position. The Season 12 vice champion, and who drove back then for App Cupra, a team that is still yet to come back to the ERL. He's certainly enjoying his time in Indiana. We've now got 2 laps to go. In comes Gabo for his 2nd stop of the day. For some of these drivers, they are considering the 2-stop. The Red Devil is one of them. Those soft tyres look absolutely ground down to the carcass. Of course, new softs going on considering how late we are in the race. Leclerc softs now beginning to show signs of blistering, as here comes Falstad. There goes Falstad into 2nd for now. Reminder that Oscar does have that 5-second time penalty, so that makes his job quite a bit harder when it comes to trying to win this race, or even stay on the podium. As it would stand, he would drop off the podium and give it to his teammate Zach Wallace. Wouldn't drop down to 5th, however, behind Ray Shen. So in terms of everything, what McLaren would lose in that 2-4, it would then become a 3-4, which, you know what, sometimes you've got to take that, as UK Ball unlaps himself and then gets lapped once again. I think UK Ball right now, as we're on to the penultimate lap, could be a useful asset to these guys if they want to get a slipstream or even attack mode to try and close in on the man who's leading this race. But with 5 seconds the gap between 1st and 2nd, especially considering that Falstad himself has a 5-second time penalty, I don't think that's going to be too likely. This race has been hectic to all hell, as we're on board with the 3-time World Drivers' Champion, the 2nd most successful driver on the grid currently. His teammate is the most successful for, I believe, the 2nd time in his career. Iker goes up into 6th position, as we now get ever so closer towards the final lap around the Yard of Bricks. Lap 18 of 18 here in Indianapolis. It's B-Dragon Sonic from Lawless Leclerc and Oscar Falstad. I say that because they are alongside each other. The fight for 2nd will certainly go right down to the wire. Know for a fact, however, that it will not be the fight for the lead. Daf Sanchez is currently up in 10th position, which will be 1 more point towards his championship hunt in Season 22. As you can see, Leclerc trying to go for a podium in Season 22 with Trackhouse Mercedes being thwarted for now by Oscar Falstad, but he does have that time penalty. The man in front of these two is a man who hasn't been at this level in the ERL since Season 13. It's been 10 long seasons since I've been able to say this one, but here goes nothing. B-Dragon Sonic comes across the line and is back on the top step of the podium. He takes Indianapolis from Falstad and Leclerc on the road. Then it's Ray Shen, Zach Wallace, Pablo Sierra, Iker World, alongside Bogdasarov. In fact, no, alongside Pablo Sierra, they are tied at the line, surely. Bogdasarov in 8th from the 2 Andretti's, then Remy Lebeau, Pierre Gasly, the Red Devil, Revo unable to score points today. Catfish coming across the line with his teammate, a formation finish in a race that was anything but formation. Then Scotland Rotak and Cosmas Medicis, the last of the finishers on the lead lap. And Babinis Jr. coming across the line in 22nd and last. What a race. And what a return to the championship for this man. B-Dragon Sonic on the top step of the podium, bringing back the Nigerian flag to the top step of the podium with him. Alongside him, Lawless Leclerc, the Season 12 vice champion to this very race winner, and Ray Shen, a man who has never faced off against him. Then Zach Wallace, Falstad, Ica World, Bogdasarov, Ocampo, Sanchez, Pablo Sierra, Remy LeBeau, Pierre Gasly, the Red Devil, Revo, Catfish, Scotland Rotak, and Medicis, the finishers on the lead lap, with the drivers a lap down being U-Cable versus Theo, Xavier Kubica, Tonelli Gabo, and Inet Babness Jr. With B-Dragon Sonic's points going to Marcus Nelson heading into race number 8. This is what the championship looks like. Marcus Nelson will be leading the championship after this, with Sanchez right behind. Then it's Catfish and Revo, Ocampo, Ray Shen, Leclerc, Bogdasarov, Remy LeBeau, Wallace versus Theo, the Red Devil, Ica World, Babness Jr., Tonali Gabo, Xavier Kubica, Falstad, Gasly, U-Cable, Sierra, Scotland Rotak, and Medicis, who has yet to score any points in the constructors' standings heading into round number 8. Techeetah lead the way, 4 points ahead of Andretti, Bennett Sims, Porsche still under 100 points, then Venturi, Trackhouse Mercedes, Kiro Porsche, McLaren Mercedes, Mercedes EQ, Team Edams Renault, Power Renault, and Nissan Nismo. We'll see you guys next time then when the ERL Formula E Series returns. But before that, we're staying stateside for the next 3 rounds of the ERL IndyCar Series.